Hey, Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box Podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Harry.
My name's Matt.
And I'm Maria.
And welcome to the February Roundtable. Woohoo! Welcome back to another Roundtable. Who fans, it's good to have you here. We hope you are keeping well and safe, and that you've all managed to do something Doctor Who related. You're all late. You're all slow tonight.
Fashionably late.
It's to be expected. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. You guys are chilling out. Yeah. Should we do a round table? No, not really, Gary. Chilling out, but I'll come on if you need. Oh, go on then. Go on then. I'm joined by, as you've heard in the intro, Harry, Matt, and Maria, and for the February Roundtable, the month of love, we're going to do some romantic chat here on the Blue Box. Essentially, we're going to give you some. What would we do? What would happen if a companion from Doctor Who said, Harry, Maria, or Matt, or Gary, I want to go out on a date? Sure. Who do we think would be the ideal candidate? Who do we want to wine and dine, some flowers, have a romantic evening with? Those of us with better halves, tread carefully. I will say that up front. Be careful. We're going to do that, and then what sort of romantic food will we cook? And then we're going to finish up with what we think is our most romantic Doctor Who episodes/stories. So we'll get on to that. It sounds like a fun one, actually. I've had a little thought about some of this stuff. Not too much. I know my wife listens, so I haven't thought about it too much. Don't worry, it's all good. Just the odd little thought here and there. Yeah. Few times a day. So, my name's Gary, of course. You know me from the podcast for years and years. Don't need to introduce myself, but I will go through these guys. Mr. Harry, how have you been, good sir?
I have been good, thank you, Gary. There isn't really much to report in the way of Doctor Who related stuff. It's been very chill. Been continuing my marathon of the Jodie Whittaker era. And I'm still really enjoying it. I'm about halfway through series 12. We just watched the episode where the Fugitive Doctor is released. Gotta say, even though she didn't have that much screen time, I'm intrigued by the characterization, and it's kind of made me want to listen to The Big Finish, which has just come out. So I might give that a listen at some point because it's such a shame. Jo Martin has so much energy on screen. She seems to have so much potential as that character, but she's just kind of she's in there and then she's out the door, and it's very strange. It's very bizarre that they did that, but that happened. Apart from that, I've actually been watching a lot of Blake 7, watching it along with your guys' podcast, and both the podcast and the show, I'm really enjoying them. It really is a banger of a show. It's really, really good. And I'm loving watching it week on week, as it was sort of intended to be watched. As you said similar sentiments on the podcast. Blake 7 is really, really good. So that's kind of what I've been up to, sort of geekery-wise in my life recently. It's been good.
Nice. And you're looking well as well. Very nice.
Oh, thank you very much.
All good.
Yeah, it is the romantic month.
It is, yes. Blake 7, Maria's most hated sci-fi show. She can't stand Blake 7. Really? Told me that a few times. She hates it. Little shameless plug, Blake 7. Federation Strike is the other podcast that we do. Go and check it out if you want to get your Blake 7 fix. Excuse me. You're loving doing that show. Very, very cool. Matt, how have you been, you old bugger?
Hello. Yes, very well, thank you, Gary. Great to be back on here every month as usual. Had haven't really done that much Who-related stuff. I think it's just been such a busy month, and it's sort of flown by, really. But a couple items I did get to do was the first 2 issues of the Dalek magazine. So I finally, they've been here a good month and a half, but I finally got round to doing them. It's brilliant. It's really good fun.
It's bloody brilliant.
It's brilliant. But no, it's great fun. First issue and the second issue make up the eye stalk for the Dalek, which is surprisingly...
Give us a look.
Which is here.
He's got it in his hand still. Look. Brilliant. And it does, you can't see this, listener, but it looks bloody great.
It's
nice.
It's high quality, which, like you say, it very much should be for the price. But it's all, brushed aluminium and metal and high quality PVC and that sort of thing. And you've got a wires and a circuit board and everything that goes with it that you need to put together step by step, which is great fun to do and chill with, a big finish on in the background. I have just had delivery of the next 4, which after this I'm probably going to do the next one. They're just great fun to do. I'm really, really enjoying them. But if people want to, only have an eye stalk just to see what it's like, that I can say that the first 2 issues do make a working eye stalk, so you can actually just have the eye stalk if you wish, because it is very expensive, but they have made it so it does work. It's not like it doesn't work until the end product, which I thought was cool. But aside from that, no, I've actually not done anything else Doctor Who related at all, actually. Not Doctor Who related, but I'm seriously getting into reading a lot of Stephen King at the minute, which has taken up most of my time. But it's slightly time travel-y, because I'm reading one at the moment, 11/22/63, and if you've read it, I'm about halfway through it. It's amazing, but it's a time travel Stephen King mega book, and it is very, very good. His interpretation of time travel is completely different to Doctor Who, but just as interesting, and it's well worth a read. I've gone through about half the book, and the book is like 1,000 pages or whatever, in a matter of days. It's brilliant.
Wow, sounds good, dude. Listener, you can't see the eye stalk that Matt is showing, but it looks very cool. Nice, and he doesn't waste his evenings either. Straight in, building that stuff. Very good. Nice one, dude. Maria, come on. Hello. What have you been up
Gary. To? And I love Blake 7.
She doesn't.
I do, and I'm following very closely your podcast. So thank you very much for that, because you're encouraging me to go back and actually watch those episodes again, which I haven't seen for a long while. So thanks for that. What have I done that's Doctor Who related? There was a couple of events I went to. The most recent one was the DWAS event that was held at the Riverside Studios. It was their projections in time events that they do, where they look at a classic serial and bring on guests, and there's a live Q&A. So I went to see Vengeance on Varos at Riverside Studios, and they had some interesting guests there. I'm doing a write-up about it, but unfortunately Nabil Shaban wasn't well, so he wasn't there, but we did have Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant. I mean, they always come as a double act, don't they? So they're always a lot of fun. And there was some other guests that were in Vengeance on Varos. So there was an actor called Stephen Yardley, who I remember actually from Howard's Way, which was this big kind of glossy 1980s series about the sailing community. I think it was down in Jordan's Way, kind of Portsmouth Way, I think. But yeah, he was there. There was also Geraldine Alexander, who was Aretta. There was also Sophie Neville, who was an assistant floor manager. She was very entertaining, actually. She was very, very good. So there was a good selection of guests on for that day. And I do recommend coming to these events. They do tend to split the episodes. So you'll see maybe part one of the story. There's then a Q&A, an opportunity for photographs. And then they'll show the second episode, and then there's an opportunity for autographs. So it's quite a long day, but very worthwhile when you consider how much you're paying, and the photographs are not that expensive either. So that was a good event. And then I was at the BFI recently with your good self and Adam to see the Spearhead in Space screening. And, you know, it was a lot of fun actually seeing that on the big screen. I mean, Spearhead from Space is obviously quite iconic as the first John Pertwee story. And I actually really enjoyed it. I kind of forgot how much it goes into the characterization. You know, it takes quite a long time to actually, because the bit you're obviously waiting for is the bit with the shop dummies, but that doesn't actually happen until episode 4. But there's a lot of build up in between. But it's fascinating seeing it on the big screen. I mean, it looked fantastic, to be fair.
It did, yeah.
And, you know, it always kind of reminds me of it is really very 1970s. And that, you know, it's very much, it reminds me of kind of being very, very young and kind of, I mean, I didn't see it first time around, but it is very of its time in that way. I mean, you've got those big telephones that they've got on the desks and, you know, and you've got that infirmary type hospital. You know, it's very, very of its time, but there's a real charm about it. So, yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And obviously there were guests from the serial as well. I can't remember who it was now, to be fair, but that was a really enjoyable event. I did enjoy going to that as well. I watched a Tom Baker story the other night. I hadn't actually seen it before. This is the last Tom Baker that I hadn't seen, which was the Mask of Mandragora.
Mandragora. You've not seen that before?
No, I hadn't actually. And,
get out of town.
You know, I've seen every other story now because I knew there was a few that were kind of missing, but that was the last one. And I think because it was a historical, I kind of, you know, sometimes you have to be in the right mood to watch that. But I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good story. It has some really good supporting characters in it. It's not one that I hear kind of talked about very much, but I actually really enjoyed it. And it's filmed in where is it, Portmeirion, where they did The Prisoner as well. So yeah, it looked beautiful. I mean, considering you know, it was filmed in the UK, it looked fantastic.
I can't believe you've not seen that one.
No, it was the only one that I hadn't seen. And I just really felt in the mood for Tom Baker. And it's really interesting when you haven't seen a story and then you see Tom Baker and he's just flying through his stories. Literally he's flying. And I do actually prefer, I think, season 14 to season 13. I know everyone goes on about season 13 and the gothic horror in it, but I actually prefer season 14 in terms of the mix of stories. I think, yeah, I mean, it was really fascinating to see him because he's really cemented himself in the role really at this point. You know, there's a real kind of grounding of his character, I think. It's fascinating, yeah. But yeah, that's what I've done since we last did the roundtable.
Wow. I apologise, listener. You assumed that I'd rounded up the experts.
And everyone's freezing.
On Doctor Who, clearly, we have an amateur in our midst.
Fooled.
Yeah. Here we go. The backlash.
Remind me next time I see you in person, Gary, to really repay some of the things you're saying at the moment.
She's going to bring the baseball back, Gary.
Yeah.
She's going to bring it along with her.
I jest, of course. Love Maria. She's really cool. A really cool working title, which I should have gone for this story, I thought, was The Catacombs of Death. I thought that had a way better sort of sense of weight and, you know, the stakes were higher with
Better
that
than
title.
The Mask of Mandragora.
I thought it was Mandragora. Mandragora. I thought it was. Is it Mandragora?
I thought it was Mandragora.
Is it?
I remember Tom Baker saying Mandragora.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're probably right. As I said, the experts are coming up slim on the podcast this month. But anyway, nice one, Maria. And it was lovely to see you, of course.
I'm very shocked. I'm very shocked.
Your BFI. It's all good. Talking of events, before we get on to the crux of the episode, before we can release Matt so he can go build his Dalek stuff, itching to go and do all that stuff. A little plug, we've done this in the last couple of episodes leading up to this one. The Capital Cutaway event in London in a couple of months' time. It's coming round the corner, pretty swift. So, the DWAS, the Doctor Who Appreciation Society, they do a couple of events. Well, I think they do a few, but a couple of big ones. They do, I think it's just called Capital, isn't it? Which they do near Gatwick Airport, I think, is their main one. But then there's this other one called Capital Cutaway. It's on Sunday, the 6th of April. There'll be a link in the show notes. There's still tickets available, and they've announced a bunch of guests since we last spoke as well. Before this recording, I think it was just Peter Davison, Susan Twist, and somebody else. But now it is Peter Davison, Joe Martin, Peter Purvis, Gemma Redgrave, Sarah Sutton, Susan Twist, Steph Diwali. She was in the Christmas special, right? She was the woman in the hotel. Yeah. And then we got some behind the scenes people as well. Guys who were like working the cameras back in the old days. Some production people. Peter Straker from the classic years as well. And Simon Slater, yeah. So, and they've got more guests being announced over the next month as well. So a whole slew of people will be there. And it will be a good chance for you to come to a really cool London event that won't break the bank. It's only a one-dayer. Very, very cool. And you get to meet us as well. So that's a Brucey bonus. Yep.
We're all lovely. We're all lovely, I assure you.
Yeah.
Just don't say anything bad about Classic Who, or Maria will give you a bop.
Maria will give you a backhander. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a stern discussion. What you know, if anyone's mean about Classic Who.
Yeah. Just tell Maria that the worst character in all of Who is Tegan, and that Classic Who is just shit, just absolute rubbish, and she'll buy you a drink, I'm sure.
What did you say about Tegan? I didn't
Nothing.
catch that, Gary.
I didn't say anything about Tegan.
Good, excellent.
Nothing at all. Right. With all that being said and out the way, let's talk love. Love is in the air. There we go. So hopefully, if you are, to the people who are listening who are single, I'm very sorry. But those of you that do have better halves, then make sure they listen as well, and they might agree with you. They might disagree with you on what our picks are. You might have your own pick. Why don't you let us know over on the old Big Blue Box Twitter? Just do find us on there at Big Blue Box Pcast. We couldn't fit it all in on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky as well. Big Blue Box Podcast. Let us know what you think and what your romantic picks would be. So let's kick off with who's going to go first. So this question is going to be, which companion would you love to go on a date with? And it has to be a romantic date. It's not a forced blind date where you just, or a speed date where it's like 30 seconds. Yep, I like you. No, I don't like you. Okay, bye. It's a proper date. So Matt's up first. Your companion, who would you love to go on a date with?
Graham.
That was a bit left field.
I mean, there's no boundaries here, Matt. You know, we're all friends. So crack on, buddy. Why Graham?
No, it's not Graham, but I did think if I were to bring him dinner, I would bring him a cheese and pickles sarnie, and then we'd get on like a house on fire. But I'd actually take River Song on a date.
Older woman. Okay. Okay.
Majoritively to use her vortex manipulator, but no, I mean, how fascinating would it be to sit down and have dinner with the woman who has met every doctor pretty much, you know, has been on probably as many or close enough to adventures with the Doctor as the Doctor has, you know, over the years. She can go anywhere, any place, any time, and that would come in great handy. Like, you think of places to go for a date, and you're thinking, oh, I'll just, you know, pop down the chip shop, or we'll go to a restaurant, or we'll go cinema. No. Come on, we could go and have a picnic with the dinosaurs. Or we could go to Raxacoricofallabatorius. Wherever.
Very nice. I see what you did there. Very nice. You practiced that one.
Actually, I did have it written down because I thought about it earlier.
Very nice, dude. Like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought this was going to turn into a bit of a, like, you know, back in the day when you're in high school and it's just silly. Like dating silly nonsense, like you're my girlfriend, you know. Sometimes it's like you really fancy the friend, so you just go out with her so you can get info on the friend and like, what's your friend up to and all that stuff. I thought you were going to be going down those roads, like, okay, yeah, River Song, you know, you're pretty cool and everything, but when's the last time you saw the Doctor? Because I think we should go and see him. Yeah, or Maria. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, River Song, older woman. Okay.
Yeah.
But you turned it around though. Nice little picnic somewhere, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Or I think, you know, to match River's hair, maybe a spaghetti bolognese, you know, classic meal with a nice red wine.
Oh, okay. Actually, this brings us on to the other question, doesn't it? What would you cook? What would you cook on the date? This is on the proviso that things have gone well so far, and you've invited her over. Yeah, date number 4, whatever. What are you cooking?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think a nice. Oh, I don't know really. I think a picnic. Yeah, a picnic, or actually a nice spaghetti bolognese, because I do like that. But
oh god,
at this stage, she's probably used her vortex manipulator to like blip out of existence at this point. So
oh no,
she wouldn't. I'd be stuck. No. I'd be stuck with Graham, wouldn't I? Which is it's no downgrade, really.
Gee, song's bailed. Let's go for a pint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, the chase is on.
Yeah.
The chase is on. Okay, Matt, that sounds pretty cool.
Pop on the bus.
I completely 100% expected you to go with spaghetti bolognese. It's like every guy's go-to. Oh, my Matt's really lovely. Does he cook? Yeah. What does he cook? Spaghetti bolognese. Of course he does.
Yeah. Have you been speaking to my missus?
Literally just fry mince, boil spaghetti and add in sauce.
Oh,
you
yeah.
literally can't get it wrong, really. Okay. Well, an insightful one to kick off with then. River Song and Spag Bowl. Nice. Harry. Same questions. Over to you, buddy.
Yes. I got to say, there doesn't really seem to be that much good choice dating-wise.
Come off it.
Well, I mean, you know, they're either like moaning about getting to the airport, or they're in a parallel universe, or sorry, Maria.
Maria's face. Oh God, she's gonna give me such a slap.
The saddest. Yeah. So the only real obvious choice for me is, I don't know what you guys are going to think of this, Ian Chesterton. Ian Chesterton.
I knew you were going to say him.
Bear in mind, Harry, that this is meant to be a romantic date.
I mean,
You cool with that? Yeah, I mean...
I don't normally swing that way, but he's a handsome fella. So I'll tell you what I'd do. Presumably he's him and Barbara are on the rocks, and he's feeling a bit upset about it. So I say, come on, Ian, come round my house. I'll make you a nice meal, and we'll have a good time. And honestly, I think it'd be great to have a chat with him. I'd be like, okay, where did you learn kung fu, and why are you a science teacher? Because I would love to know. I'd get him some really nice wine, some really expensive stuff, not the cheap kind, because he deserves better than that. And I would cook for him one of my signature dishes. I'm not that great at cooking. I can do a spag bowl, really, really good. But when I'm putting in the extra effort, if I want to impress someone, I would make them a chicken and chorizo paella. Let me tell you, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I would buy that in a restaurant. Like, I like it that much. And I'm not that great a cook. But I cook a mean paella. So I would definitely make that for him. I just think he would be interesting to talk to, and it would be, out of all of them, it would be like, oh my god, like I'm talking to Ian, like I'm hearing about his life story. I'd be fascinated to hear about where he, like, his life leading up to him becoming a school teacher and then traveling with the Doctor.
Okay, not much action going on so far. We've got a chat with Ian, and we've got River Song buggering off with the manipulator. Okay.
If the sparks fly, the sparks fly.
Well, they clearly haven't yet. Well, we don't know how Harry's date finishes up. I mean, we'll see. See how good the paella is. Eh?
He might get a phone call from Barbara afterwards, though, and go straight back.
Okay,
which would be disappointing. I wouldn't put it past him. He seems like that kind of fella. Old Ian.
Okay, very, very safe so far, guys. We've played it very safe. I read you for obvious reasons. This is a PG podcast. Yeah, no more. Maria, this could get ugly. Over to you.
So I was kind of thinking about this, and I'm thinking in terms of, okay, what would I, if it was a romantic date, so basically if I'm going on looks, I would probably go for maybe Ben Jackson, or maybe even Turlough. But then I think with Turlough, I'd probably get, he wouldn't know how to treat a lady. So probably not Turlough. I was thinking about this too much, probably. That's the problem. I think Ben would be a good laugh, actually. So if I was thinking, I'm going to expand this and say who I would snog, who I'd marry, and who I'd avoid.
I knew Maria would bring the bacon. Right, here we go.
I love how in depth you've gone to
yes.
Yeah, sorry, I've been thinking about this too much. Okay, so I would avoid Adric, because I think
Adric.
he's a bit young and immature. I mean, I think he's a sweet boy, but he's not for me.
And he's dead.
Yeah, there is. That's a big issue, isn't it, really? Yeah,
There's
that's
a
true.
minor setback.
I mean, I suppose the Doctor could have rescued him, but, he just decided not to. So, we can't do anything about that. Who would I snog? Actually, I would snog probably, Harry Sullivan at a pinch, I think. Although he's a bit of a chauvinist, so maybe Ben Jackson, actually. I'd probably snog Ben Jackson.
Because he's a London boy, isn't it?
Bringing me to my actual choice, I'm really disappointed that Harry actually picked Ian Chesterton. Because I think in terms of how I'd like to be treated and who I think would treat me as a lady, I think it would be Ian. You know, he's handsome, he's dashing, he's very protective of
I'll
Barbara.
fight you for him, Maria.
Oh dear.
I tell you what,
Stepping on
let's do paper, rock, scissors.
Ian's got a busy week lined up, hasn't he?
So
Hey.
Double date.
I think I would definitely go for Ian, to be honest. I think he's a gentleman. You know, he's, as I say, he's brave. He's a knight of Jaffa. He knows how to. He took care of Barbara. And I wouldn't want to necessarily steal him off Barbara. But I would like to go on a romantic date with him. What would I cook for him? I think he's a steak and chips man myself. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think a good steak, a really decent piece of sirloin,
Ribeye, probably. Nah.
or ribeye. Ribeye
Yep.
is beautiful.
Ribeye.
Yeah.
Ribeye.
So ribeye,
Or fillet. Yep.
and some chunky chips, and I don't know if he's a red wine man. That would be the only issue, because I like a good red wine. So I think he's a beer man. So I'd get him a
I reckon
decent
he is.
beer. I know there's lots of really good ones out there. So I think it would be that. And then for pudding, because we have to have a pudding. You know, not that I'm food obsessed or anything, but it would be. Do you remember though? You probably don't remember these, but when I was growing up, there used to be a pudding that used to be called self-saucing. So basically, when you made it, the sponge would rise to the top, and then underneath you would have this like really nice kind of sauce underneath. So I would make a St Clement's pudding. So because he's a knight of Jaffa, I would go for an orange sponge pudding as a dessert. I think he'd be mine after that, basically. You know, I'd have to lay a kiss on him at that point.
The suspense is killing me.
I was going to say this. She's either doing this on purpose for intended
everyone's
suspense,
frozen.
or
No.
her Wi-Fi has failed her at the most inappropriate time.
Oh no.
Go back. You were going to make him a St Clement's pudding because he's a knight of Jaffa. Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Why does this always
Here we
happen
go.
to me at the most inappropriate time?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're back now, though.
Oh,
You're back
okay. So I can't remember where I got up to. So
St
just
Clement's
go-
pudding because of Knights of the Jaffa.
yeah, he's a knight of Jaffa. So it would have to be a St Clement's pudding, a self-saucing one. So with custard, and I think at that
Always.
point I'd have to lay a kiss on him. I think I'd have to.
You're going to go in for it. Okay.
I would. Yeah, definitely.
More than Harry did.
I tell you what would happen at the end of the day. I'd after we had the main course, I would present to him a box of Jaffa cakes, and he'd be like, "What's the meaning of this, Harry?" And I'll go, "You know, because you're a knight of Jaffa."
Hey, do you get what I'm saying? Come on, Ian.
And then he'd realise he can't put up with that sense of humour, and then he'd Jeff off.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh God. So Harry would date Ian, seemingly for no romance whatsoever, just to get the inside scoop on everything else that he knows about Doctor Who. Matt would go on a date with River Song, similar reasons. Maria would go on a date with Ian, I think, from what she's saying, to plant one on him and just say, right, there you go.
100% Maria
You've had your
wins.
date, you've had your kiss, now get out. Yeah? My cup of tea and hot water bottle's waiting. I'll read you. I could be wrong in that, Maria, unless you want to elaborate on any upcoming? Would you like a second date, do you reckon? Or is this like a one and done? It's been nice, Ian, but, got to go.
Well, I mean, I think his heart probably belongs with Barbara, really, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, realistically. But if she wasn't around, I'll happily sit in that space. I would go for a second date if he asked me.
Oh, okay. Right. So initially you were worried about her indoors, but if he instigated, a bit more time, then you'd be up. Okay. We're learning lots of things about Maria tonight, aren't we? Her hatred of Blake
Maria,
7.
We could have a competition. Whoever Ian likes more, they obviously get to be with Ian, and the other one gets to be with Ian from the Peter Cushing movie. Not a bad deal. You're a winner either way.
True. Yeah, we could.
Although
do that.
the one from the Peter Cushing movie, he's a bit of a loser. But I don't know why they made. I don't know why they made him such a wimp in the movie when Ian is like the most badass character ever. That really miffed me. But what can you do?
It's Doctor Who adjacent. Don't worry about it. So essentially, one of you two is going to end up with loser Ian. Oh God.
Oh,
fair enough. Matt's sitting pretty. Matt's like sod all of you. I'm with River Song.
Well, we could share. Alternate days. We could share, I suppose.
No, I'm keeping River Song for myself, thanks.
Yeah, don't let River Song near Ian, because she'd probably try and seduce him, don't you?
Oh, she'll corrupt Ian. Ian's such a gentleman. She'll corrupt him in a matter of days.
Yeah, she come on with all the charm, wouldn't she? Hello, sweetie. Big smile. Busty. And it'd be game over. Game over for Ian. Straight away, Barbara would have the ump. Maria would have the ump.
Harry would have
Don't
the
know about
hump.
Harry having the ump.
I know, a massive hump.
Yeah. All right. Good. That was very entertaining. And we've learnt a few things about our co-hosts this evening. Moving on to the final bit.
Gary, you haven't said your choice, or have you?
No time. No time for that on the podcast this evening.
That one.
Yes. No, I'm joking. I would probably go for... let's do the thing. Let's do the thing what Maria did. The snog, avoid, whatever. I would say I would avoid... this is a tough one. I think I'm going to say I would avoid Tegan. Much to the chagrin of Maria. But I think I would avoid her, not because I don't think she's cool, but I think just after a little while, that voice would just go through my head like a gun going off, So I think she's, is it Janet Fielding? No. Do you play Tegan?
Yeah, it is Janet Fielding.
Janet Fielding.
Yeah.
I think out of character, she's absolutely brilliant. Very funny.
It's really funny, isn't it? I think Tegan really polarises people, doesn't she? I think she's definitely got her supporters and definitely other people that want to avoid her. I get it.
Yeah. I think Janet Fielding, I could spend all day with her. Absolutely go on a date with her. She'd be very cool. But Tegan, the character, I'd avoid. I think Snog, I think it's going to have to be... It's going to have to be Freema. I think I'll just snog the bloody face off of her for like 3 hours. My wife wouldn't mind.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. And what's the other one? Marry? No, kill. No. What's the other one? Marry.
Although that might not count,
Yeah. Marry. It'd have to be someone who could make a banging sandwich. Who would make a great sandwich?
Graham!
No. Graham would make an awful... He's a one-trick pony. He makes a cheese and pickle sandwich and that's it. I think I'm going to go with, for the marry one... excuse me. Trying to think of a good... Like a classic. I don't want to keep going modern Who all the time. I'm going to say Donna Noble to marry. I'm going to go with Donna because I think for a few reasons. I think she would make a great sandwich. And I think she'd be a bloody good laugh as well. You know, I think there'd be the odd thing where she strikes me as the sort of person that initially you'd take some time to get your head around. Like, you're indoors, you've finished work, you're making a cup of tea. But for a while, it'd be that weird thing where you have no idea what mood's coming through the door. It's like, is she going to be all right? Is she going to be a freaking nightmare because she's been stuck in traffic and she's in a bad mood? You're going to get it in the neck because you're the only person there. But then you kind of iron that stuff out as you go along and you get to know. So I think, yeah, Donna Noble would be wifey material.
That's a good choice because you'd have Wilf as your father-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, that's a good choice.
Could go up the hill with Wilf. And
yeah.
Anyway, that's me. Right, moving on. Let's pick our most romantic Doctor Who episode / story. You've got 60 plus years to pick from, so don't give me those blank faces like, oh, I don't know. I thought about it, but I seriously don't know. And you can't, please don't go with the obvious one, guys. Come on. Don't go with the obvious one. We all know the obvious one.
What's the obvious one?
Don't we?
What is the obvious one?
The Wedding of River Song. Come on.
Oh, no.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought that was the obvious one.
What would you say is the obvious one?
Well, I don't want to say it just in case I want to go for it.
All right, then. Matt, you first. With not the obvious choice. What gives you the romantic feels?
I'll tell you
I'll tell you a story, Gary, about when I used to watch Doctor Who.
Once upon a time in the 2013 era, I was sitting on the sofa watching my favourite show when...
Blake 7.
I actually haven't seen Blake 7 yet. I'm waiting to get the Blu-ray.
Same as Maria.
And then I'm going to watch and listen. But I run out of words for that one. But no, what I would say would be the gut-wrenching moment that I had was The Angels Take Manhattan.
Oh.
Amy and Rory. Amy and Rory at the start of season 5 was terribly written. I didn't like it one bit. She was made out to be this girl that had Rory and thought she just had him forever and it didn't matter and I could go and find someone better and then I'd just fall back on Rory. But I think they realised that was just a terrible way to go and kind of U-turned with the whole season 6 and 7 arc, series 6 and 7 arc, with, they realise how much they love each other and how far they would go for each other. And it reaches this crescendo in The Angels Take Manhattan where Rory is just doomed to die. And Amy just can't go on without him. She would rather give up all of this life with the Doctor and all of time and space and endless adventures because she can't bear to be one moment without the man that she simply adores. And taking the plunge off the tower and not really knowing if that was going to solve the paradox or not was just gut-wrenching. And then just when you thought you'd had enough, then there's that just beautiful but horrible moment in the graveyard where, Rory just gets snatched right when they think they're getting away with it. And you think, no. And then Amy just has no choice. She's got to go because she's got to be with him. And you just see Matt's face makes it as well, the Doctor's face. And he's like mirroring the grief. And you just think, oh, he did get me right in the feels, that one.
Mm. Oh, mate. Yeah. I mean, those two are definitely couple goals in that episode. Yeah. I mean, there's not much romance going on, as in, like, there's no theme of romance or love or anything, but those two together are just so cute in that one. And they're like they're like each other's ride or die, aren't they? They're like couple goals. So
Yeah, I think it's just a great story of love and the power of love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for a romantic, I would have chosen the other one, which would have been The Girl in the Fireplace.
Oh, right.
Which I thought would have been the most obvious sort of choice, because that relationship between what's her face, Madame de Pompadour and the Doctor, it's just it's lovely, but also sort of tragic.
Yeah, no, I agree. A nice pick, dude. Very nice. Harry. I'm going to guess Harry's.
Hello. Oh, go on then.
The Wedding of River Song.
No, wait, no, it's not.
Go on.
I'm literally just thinking this on the spot, and yeah, my instincts telling me human nature, family of blood. That romance between John Smith and was it Joan? Her name, the lady he gets in a relationship with. Well, goes to the dance with, and yeah,
Joan Redfern. Yeah.
Yes. I thought that was lovely. I thought that was really, really lovely. And also at the same time, really heartbreaking because it's if obviously John Smith was a real person, it would have been a wonderful relationship. Like, they sort of did all that flash forward stuff, which is a bit cheesy, but like it was it hits you there, it hits you in the heart, and it's it's a really interesting episode because like the Doctor just didn't consider for a second that he was gonna, as a human, fall in love with somebody. And I guess the kind of real life parallels there is when you develop feelings for someone, but like they're not who you thought they were, so they end up like breaking your heart, and like that's really like kind of bittersweet because hopefully Joan gets to go off and find someone who's, well, for one, a real person, and is also a lot better for her. Well, actually we know that she does, because in the end of time her granddaughter who's like signing books says that she ends up being happy. So yay, that gets tied in a nice neat bow, which is lovely. Yeah, probably that one. I can't think of any other examples of a Doctor Who episode where there's kind of actual like romantic relationships that like I'm really enthused about. But actually hearing Matt talk about Amy and Rory and the Angels Take Manhattan, like that's a really that's a nice redemption for those two, because Amy didn't treat Rory very well in the beginning, but that turned around, so that's nice. So that would be my pick. Human nature.
Nice. I really like that two-parter, It's one of my favourite from Tennant's era. I think, shockingly, it's the only story, I could be wrong, please correct me, guys, but I think it's the only story written by Paul Cornell in all of modern Who.
There's that one, and he also wrote Father's Day.
Oh, Father's Day, yes.
Which is also a bittersweet love story, albeit between, within a family, between a father and a daughter, I suppose. I can never bring myself to watch that one. I find it too sad, to be honest.
It is a bit, isn't it? Yeah.
It does get you every time.
I wish Paul Cornell had wrote more stuff, because he's
Defo. Yeah.
Both stories that he's contributed to Who have been very, very good. Anyway, that's a good shout, dude. Nice one. I'm going to guess Maria's.
Go on.
It's going to be a classic Who story.
Go on.
It's probably the Green Death.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a good choice, though. I have to be honest. I didn't think of that one.
When Jo finds her man leaves the Doctor, that's bittersweet as well. There's a theme running here. The most romantic stories are the most tragic, bittersweet. There's no happy ever after for a lot of these people. Well, Jo, I guess, did. She leaves the Doctor, but that's the sad bit. But she does stay with her new man. Cupid's arrow was straight and true. in that story for Joe. But sorry, Maria, your most romantic story.
Now, it might surprise you, but I struggled initially kind of thinking about this because, Doctor Who doesn't kind of speak romantic to me. It's not typically a story about romance, is it? So, or a series about romance. So I kind of struggled a little bit, and I wish I'd thought of the Green Death because that's actually a great example. I think initially I was kind of thinking in terms of visually what would be kind of quite romantic, a place to visit. So I kind of thought City of Death because we're in Paris. So I kind of thought, that might be a fantastic location, and also because I think I've actually got a New Who episode which is going to be my choice. But initially I thought of City of Death because it's Paris, the city of love, and all of that. And I think because Tom Baker and Lalla Ward seem to be at their happiest at that point. They're holding hands out on location, and and it seems very. What's kind of happening in the background between them. So initially, I kind of thought of that story. But as you say, I think there is a theme with Doctor Who in that a lot of the romantic stories are actually bittersweet. They are. I think the Green Death, like you said, is probably the only one where it's bittersweet for the Doctor, but Jo gets her man. So I kind of settled on, and Harry and Matt have actually picked two episodes that I would have probably thought of initially. So The Girl in the Fireplace and Human Nature, Family of Blood. So I'm going to go for a more left field one. So I thought actually of Love and Monsters, which might not seem like an obvious choice, but I liked the relationship between Elton and Ursula, and I liked the fact, the way it was kind of they kind of got to know each other, the way they kind of talked about each other. I know Ursula obviously had a bad ending because she was on the backside of the Absorbalov, I think, or somebody was on the backside of the Absorbalov. But I actually enjoyed their interactions, and and I also thought it was quite nice because you had Mr. Kennedy and Bridget as well, so there was kind of a burgeoning relationship between them. It is probably, I suppose, a bit of an odd one because, like you said, it is bittersweet in the fact that all of the people in Linda end up dead, I suppose, really, or kind of absorbed. But that was the one I picked. And there's something about that story that kind of always leaves me kind of quite emotional, I suppose. I think it's just Elton's journey. And obviously the Doctor's not in it that much, but as Elton's story, I actually really enjoy it.
Okay. That's a good shout, actually. I think, I hadn't considered that one, if I'm being honest with you. I hadn't.
It is hard to kind
of
pick romantic stories, really. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So what about if you had to... I was so certain you were going to go with a classic Who. But I think that's just... my thing with you, like, because you love classic Who so much. I thought you'd go for a classic one, but okay. Not too bad. Some good choices so far. Nice. The one for me that I was going to pick, I was going to go with Human Nature, Family of Blood initially, until that was stolen from beneath me. The rug pulled from beneath the proverbial feet. So on my backup one was the episode The Lodger, the Matt Smith story, which is kind of a weird story, and I was in two minds about it because I'm not really a James Corden fan, if I'm being honest with you. I find him a little bit annoying at times, although he was good in, obviously, Gavin Stacey. But I think the reason why I chose that one, because it's not a huge standout romantic story as a whole. It's essentially, there's aliens in the attic kind of story, but the relationship between Craig and Sophie and that kind of friend situation where he obviously wants something a lot more than Sophie does, but then they kind of have a lovely sort of hand-holding little smoochy kiss sort of thing towards the end when the Doctor's saving them both and he plants one on her as that final moment. It's that kind of build-up where throughout the episode you're thinking, is he going to ask her out? Is he not? She wants to be friends, he wants to be more than that. And at the end when they think they're going to die, he plants that massive kiss on her, and then you as the viewer are like fist pump and you're like, yes, he's done it. And then it cuts to Amy in the TARDIS who's watching it and she's like, yes, as well. Like he's finally had the balls to give her a kiss and whatnot. So yeah, that would be my backup choice. It's not, it's a little bit different to the ones that you guys have chosen where it's not got this kind of very sweet, loving romantic theme, but ends in tragedy and is quite, it's quite tragic in that way, but a nice little story.
I think
for the romantics.
Yeah, the Craig arc, especially with the second episode, and you see how their love has developed over the time the Doctor's been away. And yeah, James Corden is James Corden, but the character of Craig, is it Craig Owen? Craig Owens? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He's brilliant. I'd love to see him in another one, like just popping up. Like you say, it's just a nice arc, especially with the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. Oh, some great picks there, dudes. And a couple of surprising ones as well. Yeah, nice. I wonder if our views will change in a year's time when we do another Valentine. I assuming because Maria's on board, she'll want to do another Valentine's one. She'll want to tell us, she wants to let us all know who she'd snog, who she'd date, who she'd marry, who should kick out for not leaving the tea bag in long enough and all that. I'm sure we'll get. So it'd be interesting to see if our views change
we'll have
on
to
this
check
stuff.
in.
Yeah.
We'll have to check in with Harry and Maria to see who got Ian.
Oh, God. I've got such a croaky voice at the minute. Oh, God. Excuse me. Nice one, Matt. Making me laugh. Yeah, we'll see if it came to blows between those two about who got Ian. But okay, so I guess for the next month's roundtable, when we get on to March, fortunately, I don't think there's any big public holidays that we have to do stuff. We did miss Pancake Day as well. I don't think there are many Doctor Who episodes about Pancake Day, but
I think Pancake Day is still to come, actually.
Is it in March or is it April?
It's in March, I think, this year.
Oh, it is in March.
Easter's really late. But yeah, like you say, is there any... maybe the Candyman? But
yeah.
Talk about the Happiness Patrol? I don't know.
Yeah. 4th of March. So we might get that in there. Who knows? Who bloody knows what's going on with this monthly roundtable anymore? Got Maria trashing Blake Seven at every opportunity she gets.
Oh,
got
Garry.
Harry. Yeah, you got Harry who's like, oh, crikey, work's just kicking my ass. I got no time, but I'm happy to waste time talking to you lot about nonsense. Matt with his bloody Dalek. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go on? Here he is. Oh, he's got his little plushy one now. Oh.
Is it giving you massages yet, Matt? The Dalek. Is it? Have you built enough of it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a man to have massage and towels, so I can't say.
Just make sure it doesn't malfunction. Like your girlfriend will be somewhere else in the house, and she'll just hear you scream at the top of your voice. She'll run in, and there'll be a Dalek. You've made like a custom Dalek attachment. It's like wrapped around your neck, choking the life out of you. Yeah.
What a way to die.
There are worse way. Matt sadly leaves us at the age of blah blah blah, choked out by a Dalek that he invented in his bedroom.
God, sounds like a beginning of a bad joke, that one, doesn't it?
Alrighty. Unless you guys have got
the one good. I was going to say, the one good thing is by the time of the next round table, Matt will have built a little bit more of it. So we'll be able to see it. It's a work in progress, isn't it, Matt?
It really is. And this massive box, like viewers can't see, but this massive blooming great box that has arrived for, a couple of days ago, is massive. And it's all of the bits inside. I think we make the head next. And it's really heavy as well, so it must be. I'm intrigued to see what becomes of this, and whether there is any massage attachments.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what it looks like next month, Matt. So you've got to give us an update every round table. We get a little update about where you are with the project.
Well, I've got some pictures of each issue and the completed steps, and I was waiting for a few, and I'll pop it on our Discord. So if you want to have a look and see how it goes on step by step, and issue by issue, then we'll put it on the Discord, and you can see how it's all going.
Sounds good, dude.
Do you know what I think would make this even better is if they I'm not sure whether the squid thing that you're going to put in the Dalek itself is going to move at all, but I really hope that it can like move its tentacles around like Dalek Khan in the Stolen Earth.
Oh yes,
that would be perfect.
Oh yeah, that'd be so cool, man.
That would be really cool.
I've just got visions of Matt, like we turn up to record one of these and Matt just turns up and like half his head's been shaven, like his glasses are busted. We're like, Matt, what's gone on? He's like, yeah, I wanted to make it more sentient, so I uploaded ChatGPT to it to try and give it its own life, and things have not gone well.
Yeah, it keeps saying Skynet for some weird reason. It won't turn off.
Oh, God. It could just be the embodiment of Dalek Tat. It's just taking revenge on all of us one by one.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It keeps saying, I've got to find Garry. But I don't know where he is now.
Yeah, I was mean to him.
He kept throwing me. He kept berating me.
Yeah, I was mean to him.
He's going to get his revenge.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, the old days of Dalek Tat. I might see if I can find him, track him down. He's in the galaxy somewhere.
A guest on the next round table.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless you guys have got any other little nuggets of romantic wisdom, humour, advice.
I did think of one more. Did think of one more story. I'll just say the name because, but if it's not actually Doctor Who, but it's The Wedding of Sarah Jane Smith. That was phenomenal. That was incredible. If you haven't seen it, if you think Sarah Jane Adventures is a kids show and I'm not bothering with that, like you probably don't listen to this podcast because we all love the Sarah Jane Adventures. But this story in particular, it's just go and watch it. Just any opportunity that you get to watch any Sarah Jane, really, it's fantastic. It really is. But this one in particular, it's a beautiful love story. Unfortunately, it's tragic as well. But absolutely phenomenal. This episode, it really is.
Good shout, dude. Yeah, really good shout. Oh, mate, I loved reviewing Sarah Jane Adventures on the podcast.
Oh, mate.
When I went through that, it was so.
Mine's still
Maria,
in
have
the
you seen
cellophane. I have to be honest. No, mine's still in the cellophane. I watched it ages ago. I watched bits and pieces of it, but it's one of those that I'm still waiting to unwrap. When I get time, I'll go through the Sarah Jane Adventures because I haven't seen all of them. I've seen a few of them on TV, but I haven't seen it all.
You must watch it, Maria.
It's
phenomenal.
I don't know if this is.
I've seen the important ones. I've seen the one. I've seen the wedding. Is it the wedding of Sarah Jane? Is that the one?
That's what Matt
that you were talking about, Matt. Yeah. Sorry, it cut out a little bit, so I didn't catch that. And there was another one with the 11th Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That I've seen. Yep. I've seen those, and I've seen a couple of the others. But oh my gosh, it was so long ago. So, I
good.
haven't seen the last series. So
I wish. I wish I could go back to being you right now and not having watched them before and having like all of this beautifulness to come. Honestly, Maria, just as soon as you finish this podcast, go get it, unwrap it, put it on, and then I'll message you in the Discord tomorrow and say like, have you had any sleep? And you'll be like, no, I'm so tired. But it's so good. Like honestly, it is. For a long time, I couldn't decide which was better between Doctor Who or Sarah Jane Adventures. They are just, it's so good. Honestly, do it, watch it. Everyone else is just nodding their heads because it is just so good. I can't say enough how much.
I might start rewatching it now.
Yeah,
to be honest,
yeah.
I'm right in the mood. Sarah Jane Adventures is so good.
I will watch it at some point. I will. It's just I'm obviously watching other things at the moment, but yeah, I will go and watch it all. It just feels, because there's 5 series, isn't it? It feels like it's quite a lot. So I will watch it. I will watch it at some point.
Sounds like a lot, but they're only like half an hour episodes, and most of the series have 12 episodes, 6 serials, so it's about 6 hours each season.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not too bad.
It's all right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I've got it in the collection. I mean, I wanted to get it because I knew I hadn't seen it all. So I'm really glad that I've got it. It's just something that I'm going to sit and enjoy. I'll open my bottle of red wine and I'll sit and enjoy it. So, yeah, thanks, guys. And Garry, you'll have to tell me all the podcast ones where you've reviewed them, so that I can then listen to the podcast afterwards.
Sure, you will.
You are in for such a treat, honestly. And anyone else yeah,
Maria's going to do a Moffat. She's going to sit there, red wine, in front of the TV. The thing with the Sarah Jane, we'll wrap up in a second, I promise. But the thing with the Sarah Jane Adventures is that it really is one of those shows where you watch an episode and you think, oh, okay, I've got a little bit of time. I'll watch an episode of SJA, and then it gets to the end and you're like, I could do another one. I could do another one. It's fine. I've got a little bit more time. And then you get to the end of that one and you're like, oh, really should go and do that thing. But, oh, God, quickly, I'll just do one more. Before you know it, you're 6 episodes done. And, yeah, it really is one of those shows where, I don't want to get too soppy, but it really is down to Elizabeth Sladen and just seeing how brilliant she is, and how cool she is in that character. It's thank God. I mean, we've slated Russell quite heavily over the last year, I think, 10 months, whatever, with some of the newer Who stuff. But bloody hell, back then, like, thank God that he thought, I want to bring you back as Sarah Jane. I want to create a spin-off all about Sarah Jane, and you're going to own it, and it's going to be your thing. And she accepted. So, when he gets it right, old Russ Baggs, he definitely gets it right. So thank God for that.
Guys, we have to do a whole round table about Sarah Jane Adventures. I just popped into my head right now.
Yeah, Maria.
Once Maria's seen it, we
could do. Once Maria's watched an episode, we could all review it and see what she thinks.
That would, I'm up for anything. I mean, if you wanted to do it, guys, I mean, I can sit and watch some of them if you want. Because I want to be part of the round tables. So yeah, if you tell me when you want to do that, and we can do it. I'll make time. I can always make time when I need to. I mean, I'll get about 4 hours sleep every night, but I can make time.
It would be cool.
Worth it.
Yeah, Sarah Jane is.
And then we'll do Torchwood, and then we'll do Class, because that's the best spin-off ever.
No. You can stop after Torchwood. And don't even get me started on that Australian K9 series.
Oh, no. It was only one ep, wasn't it? Then he did one. Oh, no, that was the K9,
that was K9
Down Under? No.
K9 and Company was only one, wasn't it?
Yeah, what was the Australian one called?
I think it's just called K9.
Yeah,
is it just that?
Called K9. Yeah. But I was so excited when they said it was coming, because it was right at that, just after the Sarah Jane Adventures had finished. And, or was it running concurrently? I'm not quite sure. But they proper K9 is in it for about 5 minutes. Then they blow him up, and then they create this horrible CGI,
fancy futuristic looking canine. Yeah.
It's god awful.
It's bloomin' dog bleep. That's what it is.
Bleeping dog, and it's bleeping thing. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
K9, more like crap 9.
Crap.
Sorry.
Oh god.
This is Ian rubbing off on him. Yeah. The jokes are coming out now.
Yeah,
Ian's personality is rubbing off on him. Yeah. Okie dokie. Right, let's wrap there. Just over an hour. That's not too bad. Let's wrap there, dudes, for the February Roundtable. Thank you very much for listening to another one of our wildly entertaining, humorous roundtable episodes, where we spoke about love. Love was in the air, of course. We had some great suggestions from these guys about dates, cooking, what episodes give them the feels, all that stuff. Maria steering clear of Blake 7 and all the things. So, yeah, it was good. We will see you next time, of course, for the March Roundtable. In the meantime, make sure you are following or subscribing to this very podcast in your fave podcast app of choice. That way you won't miss a notification when the new episode lands, and you can get stuck into all of our musings about Doctor Who. You can find us on the socials as well. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. Just head to the website, which is bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk, and there are links to all those things. And we chat Doctor Who throughout the week, so get involved there. And we have a very cool free Discord server where these guys and myself and a bunch of other cool Doctor Who fans chat about Doctor Who. Harry, it's been cool, dude.
It's been very cool. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you very much. Matt, good to have you, dude, as always.
Always a pleasure, Gary. Thank you very much.
And Maria, thank you very much, as always. Oh, no. The most inappropriate time, as usual. Maria has failed us on the Wi-Fi. But alas, it's all good. Right, let's see ourselves out then, boys. Just the three of us. My name's Gary.
My name's Harry.
And my name's Matt.
And remember... Hey.